Yo, what's up? Eric Dubois with EDP-Beats.com. I received this cool message on Reddit by Matt Panda, or Matt Pandas, and asking me about my live setup and how I do my live shows, because I made another video before showing you how I play live using the push, the Novation launch key, and some cool guitars and stuff like that, but I didn't really show you what went inside of Ableton. So I'm going to show you guys how I do and how I have Ableton set up to be able to make all my live show. To start off, there's a million different possibilities on how you can perform live and how you can set up Ableton to match your needs. So everyone is different, everyone has different priorities. I know that I'm not really good in finger drumming, so I need something to help me. I don't have a foot pedal, so I need to figure out a way that I can loop the guitar without having to let go and tap a button. Stuff like that. I have a really good recommendation, and what I've been checking out every time since they started and since I was a kid is How I Play by DJ Tech Tools. There's gonna be a link in the description for those videos. Watch every single one of them. You'll see every single DJ, every single producer has a different way of performing live. I really love the Mad Zach one. Then there's Il Gates. Then there's a few producers from Amsterdam, but I'm not really sure what they're called. I think I forgot. But you'll see they are EPROM also. You can see how he plays live with Ableton. So they all have their own style and their own way of setting up Ableton to be able to match their needs. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run through my Ableton live set and show you guys how everything is routed and how everything works for me. All right, so this is what I call my live set, my Ableton live set. So I have two versions of my live set. So I do a full improv kind of set, and then I go into a more DJ-ish, not really DJing because I'm not playing tracks, but I do use loops and tracks that are already pre-recorded in a way, and I can just loop guitars over it and drums and synths and all that kind of stuff, but just to build it, but something that's a little bit more structured than fully improvised, right? But that still gives me the improvisation that I want. If I feel creative or something on the spot, I can still change it up. So this section, the improv set. So I have my tracks here. So I have the drums, which comes with a drum rack, the microphone. So if I want to record hi-hats or a little beatbox, I use this track right here. This mic track is just for vocals. If I want to record a vocal line or a vocal chop or like a hey or a yo or something that's just gonna keep looping, I use this because I have all of the effects already ready for a clean vocal, right? So I have reverbs, I have a delay channel, you know, all that kind of stuff, which makes my vocals a little bit more tight and a little bit more clean playing live. Now, as you can see here, the only channel that I use Ableton's looper is on the mic channel. Why? Because I want to be able to overdub over the voice. I want to do like some choirs, some harmonies, so I want to keep overdubbing. So what I have is the looper here, and how that works, I've configured the main controls of the looper on my Novation launch key on these pads. So I can launch a loop, stop it, clear it, start over again, make other ones, so I can do everything directly from the Novation launch key, which is usually closer to my microphone. And it just allows me to keep recording and keep building over it, and still using the push to be able to control all of the effects afterwards. Drums is just my basic drum rack, so every time I do a live show, I keep adding more drums into it, but at least I have the basic drums that I want and the basic drums that I need inside this drum rack to create any type of beat that I want, especially with the additional mic track that I have here, where I can layer on top another vocal line or some cool little sounds that I get from stage. So also I have my guitars that are routed. So my guitar will go through directly through the sound card, no amps, no pedals, no effects, no anything. It just plugs straight into the sound card and comes out through here. So I usually have two channels to be able to do two guitar types, which are grouped into one. I have the chords, which is a slightly less distorted, a little bit cleaner type of sound that I can go through here. And again, with all of the effects already pre-set up that I can turn on using the Ableton push and control very quickly and very easily straight from the push, right? I have another channel for the guitar, which is the solo. So heavily distorted guitar signal going through this one. And once again, I can control the effects going through with the push. I also have a hip hop sub bass, which is just Ableton's hip hop sub, which is a great instrument already in Ableton. Some effects, I also incorporated a gain, which is sidechained to my drum rack, my drum channel, so that everything blends together very well during an improv set. And how I have that is just because I'm using a drum rack, and I set up this sidechain channel right here inside of the drum rack. I can sidechain, I can compress pretty much all of the instruments that are here directly to the kick or any part of the drums that I want. It's already set up, I don't have to do it, so that everything sounds a bit more glued together and a bit more clean. Now another part of the improv set is my synths, which I have 3 different synthesizers that are locked in, that are already plugged in. And with this switch right here, I can switch between which synth I want to play, right? So super easy and super fast. So I can keep adding synths in this little rack right here and just keep modifying whichever one I want to use. Again, afterwards I have all of the effects that I can control directly from the push. And that's pretty much how I play the improv session. Now what's very important for me, and what I wouldn't be able to do without the Ableton push, is in this, in all of my live sets, I don't have a foot switch to be able to loop things. I don't have anything like that, so I have to do it either manually by tapping on the record and tapping it again to stop it, or with the push, I have this button right here, fixed length, which allows you actually to choose what length you want the loop to be. So either 2 bars, 1 bar, 8 bars, 16 bars, you select that, and whenever you hit record on a clip, automatically it's going to start looping right after you set that fixed length. So that works perfect for me, especially for the guitar like that. I don't have to let go of the hand and figure out what to do. I just hit that fixed length button, choose the time that I want, and kind of stick to it. And you can do that in the clip section of Ableton, but I'm not really sure how to do it. And this is the only solution that I found that worked, that I was more comfortable with. So I can't do it if I don't have the push. With the push, it really helps me to do it. Now, if I launch clips over here on this one, which is also controllable by Ableton, these are not loopable. I mean, these are not, don't have the fixed length option. So whenever I hit one on these, I have to hit play again. So I have to keep that in mind every time. And also keep in mind what loop I'm going and what length of loop I'm going on for different tracks. Now, the second part is actually my live set with the tracks that I've already made. So I have a folder here called Ableton Live Sets, and here are all the tracks my tracks that I broke down to be able to play live, right? So what I do is whenever I'm done with the track and I like it and I think I want to be able to play it live, I will create a different version, a different Ableton template of that track, resampling some parts that I don't want to play, you know, taking off some of the major plugins, checking out what guitar effects I did, and then making it playable live so that I can save it here, and then all I need to do is just drag and drop the project of this one track into my Ableton live set. I take a little time to load. This is how my live set for my track Beach Bum will look like. So they all appeared here. I have my drum sections, which are always first. So I have my drum rack, some loops. The drum rack is already the drum rack from the track, so I've kept that as is from when I produced it. The bass, which is usually, I resample the bass that I've done to have it as an audio wave so that I don't use too much CPU live, because I don't want anything to crash or to break or have any clipping sounds or anything like that. So I will resample the instruments that I'm not playing live in audio format, in loopable format. Then I have this other track where it's the bleeps, all the other kind of details that I have and that I'm not playing live, I resample into audio to make it just easier for me. Now each row is a different section. The first row is the entire track with the guitar parts, as you can see right here, so that when I'm practicing I remember how to play those guitar parts. Then I'll usually break it down into like the verse or the intro, then another line for the hook, then another line for the breakdown, you know, and then I can just keep going down while looping, and I can still have immediate control of the drums, of the bass, of everything, of all my tracks here on the push. So if I want to freestyle, or if I'm feeling I want to do a guitar solo a little bit longer, I can just keep going with that and take off something, filter out something. Then the most important is the guitars. So I have this group here for the guitars. I have 2 channels for this specific track, so any guitar parts that I have in a song, I will break it down in channels and try to avoid to have the most, I'll try to avoid having the most effects possible. I mean, it's hard to explain, but I don't want the guitars to lag. I don't want to have any latency. When you're producing a track, you usually add a bunch of effects and layers and just make it sound as good as it can, because people are going to be listening to it and not watching you play it. So on a live set, I do it differently. I keep the main sound that I use during the recording process. So usually I have guitar rig and some small effects, but I try to keep it as minimal as I can. And that goes the same for every single guitar track that I'm going to be using in the track. So this is an example for my Beach Bum track. So let me get that out. So then when I hit another song, I just select all of these, erase, and then go down the line on my Ableton sets here, and I have the fast track, for example, and same thing, drag and drop it in. And so I do all of this live. So it's not, my DJ sets are not a live continuous flow. So each track has an ending. So I have time to kind of talk back, get some feedback from the public, see if I need to, if they want something more upbeat, or if they want to start doing a freestyle or anything like that. I have this blank spot where I can start getting everything cool. So same thing goes with fast track. So as you can see with the second track, same thing. The drums are first, the drums are in white, the bass is in blue, like that I can always remember. And it's just finger memory how to play these tracks, right? So the first line will be always the entire track, how it is, so that I can remember just for practice notice. And then these other ones here are just the intros and the breakdowns and the other parts where I just fill in the blanks. So I'll be recording the guitar, so I'm going to be filling in the blanks here. I'm going to be filling in the blanks on some of the synths, on some of the voices and stuff like that. So everything is broken down the same way for each and every one of my tracks. So whenever I finish a new track, I'm going to break it down the same way. Make the drums on one side, make them white, make the bass, make all of this. And whatever I want to play live, I just keep doing. So this is a very important section, and that's just my way of performing live, because it's just how I can do it, and it's easy for me. I don't have to stress, and I can still have fun playing it live. Now, to get into more details, I actually use the audio interface. My master channel is coming out of the audio interface that's going to be going to the speakers of the venue, right? Now my metronome, my click, is coming out of the computer, out of the regular audio import of the computer, audio output of the computer. So I plug my headphones there, and like that I always have the click, and the crowd is not hearing the click when I'm playing live, which took me a long time to kind of figure out, but I got it. I also have a volume knob here that I MIDI mapped to be able to control the volume knob of the click. So if it's too loud, I can lower it, too high, I can, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that I have the click. Otherwise, I control everything from the push, from the speed, from the tempo, everything directly from here. And yeah, then on my master channel for the technical side too, as I said, I really love this guy because it's Ableton compatible, so I can use the pads to launch clips if I'm too far away from the push. And also I can put in user mode where I can MIDI map any of the buttons that I want. So that's what I have up here. All of these knobs are kind of my effects that I've loaded up on my master channel here, so that I can just have fun with it. So on here I'll have, the first one that I have is a low pass filter. So I created this little effects group here with all of the effects, so I can just MIDI map whatever I want. So I have this low pass filter that's put up here. I have the high pass filter here, a little beat repeat, which is pretty cool. The beat repeat, I can also go in and change the grid of the beat repeat, as you can see here with this knob. So if I'm playing a track at 80 BPM and then the next track is at like 150, I gotta change the grid, otherwise the beat repeat is gonna be too fast or too slow, and so I gotta match it to what BPM I'm playing. Then I have some cool little back off effects. I have also the control of the gate on my improv bass channel. So hip hop bass is here. So if I want the bass to be like an 808 and just roll with the kick, I can just turn it on here by moving this knob. Just turn on the gate, and then this is gonna turn on my gate that I have right here for the bass, so that whenever the kick hits, the bass comes through. So it gives you that little doom doom kind of roll whenever the kick hits, which is pretty cool. If I don't want it, I just turn it off, and then this is just a regular bass that I'll be playing through. Still sidechained by the kick on the compressor side to dip it. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how I play live, how Ableton is set up. Everyone's different, so if you want any details or anything that you want me to kind of explain a little bit more, I'll be glad to do it. Just leave me a comment at the bottom. I'm wearing the San Lorenzo shirt because today there's a big game right after San Lorenzo against Boca, so I have to watch it. Super huge fan, my wife and I, of San Lorenzo soccer team in Argentina, so we gotta watch the game. And yeah, hit a like, hit a subscribe, all that cool things that I need to say. And peace out. See you in the next video. And if you have any questions, just hit me up. Peace.